So that's it. It is wedding season. I am working on a sign for my wife's best friend. Sammy J and her husband Brian are getting married. So this time the wedding gift is for us to give to somebody for their wedding. These are great gifts for weddings, great gifts for new homeowners, for anniversaries. I did one not too long ago for someone's parents who was celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. That was a lot of fun project. So these are great for housewarming gifts, weddings, birthdays, people having a big party on their out patio. They want a nice sign, so they make great gifts. So here's how I make my custom CNC carved signs. So you already see me use the chop saw to get this, the boards cut the rough length. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the jointer. How the jointer works, there is two different beds. There's a blade in the middle, a bunch of blades in the middle. This bed on the in feed is lower than the bed on the out feed. The bed in the out feed is the same height as the top of the blade. And what that's going to do is allow me to get these nice and squared up on the ends here. So we have a joint there. This is going to make sure that this surface and this surface is perfectly square, so when we join them, we won't have any gap. Now that we got them squared up on the jointer, we have one face square, one face flat, one face square on both boards. Now when we put them together, find the right orientation, you have a nice tight seam there. So next thing we're going to do is run these through the table saw, get to overall final width plus an inch. That gives me room to screw around with. So let's get those cut next. So the next step is the glue up. What I like to do is I have these PVC pipes here with a piece of scrap wood in the bottom. That helps when you clamp stuff like this, helps to get up off the bench and make sure, helps you keep everything straight. So for this, we're going to use 3 clamps. We're going to use Titebond 3 glue, which is right there. And the boards, of course. Okay, so we have our carpenter's triangle here saying that we're back aligned. So we got that good, and then all we're gonna do is glue these up. This isn't a very big panel, it's really flat, so I'm not gonna use any biscuits or any dominoes. My preferred method of administrating, putting glue on stuff is the old former co-worker Tupperware dish and a $2 little roller from the dollar store, and I like the nappy brush rollers, and a nice even coat. It's important that it's even for a couple reasons. It's important that it's even because you get good bondage, and then and how you know that? Good bonding. Anyway, when you that's one reason. The other reason, when you pull it together and you squeeze, you want nice even squeeze out. That tells you that the boards are stuck together evenly. So got that there. You always want to start with clamping in the middle, in my opinion. Maybe not always, but stuff like this, I like to, if you start on one side, I guess you can start on one side and work down. What you don't want to do is put a clamp here, a clamp here, then a clamp in the middle. Because what you're doing is you clamp the ends, you might push the board together and have a gap that your other clamp can't get. So by pushing it in the middle first, and then pulling it together, you ensure a nice tight clamp. There's a thing called a spring joint where people will actually undercut these pieces and force it together with the clamps. I've never found the reason to do that, but if you do it just right, and I'm pushing down on this, which is in turn pushing on this, keeping me off the bench to ensure I'm flat. Nice squeeze out there, nice even bead all the way down, flush there, a little bit, now we're flush there. I flip it over. Now if you look, there's a little gap there and a little gap there. So while this is in clamp, I'm gonna give it, it's pretty humid today, so I'll probably give this 3 or 4 hours to dry. Let this sit. I'll come back in about 20 minutes. Once the glue starts to like skin over, I can take a chisel and knock off the glue, help me with sanding later. Not necessary, but it's one of those easy, it's 2 seconds, it'll save you 2 minutes later, I guess. Yeah, but anyway, this will sit for probably probably set for 2 or 3 hours. And then this afternoon, we'll pop out the clamps, we'll flatten it, and we'll go on from there. So see you in about 2 or 3 hours. So it's been just about 3 hours. I can see there's a nice tight glue line. The glue is dry. The glue is dry. Too much caffeine this morning after an awesome weekend. So now we're gonna pop these clamps out and do a little inspection. Yes, nice and flat, nice and tight. We are ready to head over to the CNC now. Okay, so the carving is all done. The next step is to blow it off with the air compressor really well, get all the dust out of there. And then I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna put a top seal on everything. I'm gonna use a semi-gloss lacquer, clear semi-gloss for this. I don't want it to be too glossy because I want it to jump out at you on the wall, but at the same time, I don't want it to be flat where it just kind of gets lost. So semi-gloss is, I think, is a good choice for this one. So yeah, blow it off. I'm gonna seal this. This does 2 things. The first thing it does is it goes through and it seals all the wood. What that does is when I go back and paint the letters, it keeps the color from seeping into the grain. So when I go to sand off around that, I'm not sanding off too much, if that makes any sense. Yes. Yeah, I think so. So that's the first thing it does. Second thing it does is it kind of gives me an idea what it's going to look like. So if I do the semi-gloss and I like, you know what, that's too shiny, whatever, I can go back, sand it off and do a flat or a high gloss. But in this case, I'm pretty sure super gloss is going to work just fine. So that was the first coat. 2 more coats of this and we'll be good to go. It only takes about 15 minutes for it to dry. So come back here in about 15, 20 minutes, another coat, wait another 15, 20 minutes from there, another coat, let that sit for probably a good hour. Then I'll come back and I'll add the color. Not sure what color that's gonna be yet. This is American Cherry, Appalachian grown American Cherry. Yeah, so I think maybe red with some black. Maybe this the main name in red, black. I don't know. I'm gonna change my name. I'm gonna change my mind in about 3 or 4 times at least before I paint it. So we'll see what I come up with. But yep, come back in about an hour and we'll add the color. Okay, so it's been about an hour since the first coat. no watch on. So about 20 minutes since the third and final coat. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go with red and black. This is a special paint that I use, Marsh. Marsh is specially made for signs. It doesn't really soak in as much. It adheres really well, but it doesn't stick in as much. Soak in. It's a great paint for signs. They make black, they make other colors, but for some reason, the other colors are super expensive. So we're just going to use a good quality. So what I'm going to do is and the established, and the border is going to be black, and we're going to do red here. So we'll paint the whole thing black, then come back, tape off what's red, what's not red, and then paint that. So black, coat one, we'll do 2 coats. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. We've got all the black done. I'll come back in 20 minutes, do a second coat of black. 20 minutes after that, then we'll tape off these 2 words, tape off this outline, inside border, then we'll do the red. So be back in about 40 minutes. All right, it's been actually 2 days since I started this. I was caught out of, yesterday was a wash. I was not here for about a second yesterday. I didn't have time to get to it. So anyway, only good that's only good because it helps. It's only more good because it helps this be even dry. So now it is 100% dry. So now the plan is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over to the bandsaw. I'm going to rough cut out. I'm going to finish cutting it out shape, and then I'm going to come back over and we're going to sand off all this color, exposing the bare wood with the red and black letters. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so we got this sanded 80, 120, 180. It's pretty smooth right now. Got a little hand touch up that I got to do. And the next thing I got to do is I got to knock off this edge, which I'm not sure if I'm going to sand it off or use the router. But get this off, do just a little bit of sanding on the back, do a custom inscription on the back, and then this will be ready for finish. I think I'm going to do a spray lacquer. Might do a gloss, but so far, so good. I'm really happy with it. So this is for my wife's best friend, and her husband is coming a really good friend of mine, great guy. She's kind of sketchy, but he's super cool. Well, I think, there we are. I think we're about ready for varnish. Or for spray lacquer. I'm going to go ahead and do a little more hand sanding. Are you in there? Anybody listening? Bueller? A little more hand sanding, finish the edges, clamp a little stuff, and then we're going to get on to spraying this with lacquer. I guess I could move the camera, but that doesn't make too much sense. So here we are. I sanded up to 120, hand sanded all the edges, got inside all these little grooves here, took my time. Did a quick pass on the back, got that pretty flat. I still got to do put the logo, my logo on here, and some custom engraving, a little something, because it is a personal gift to a real good friends of ours. So I gonna use my go-to finish. This is Def Clear Semi-Gloss. This is a lacquer spray. This is a great for this kind of project because there are so many little crevices. You got to be able to get inside there. So be able to hit it with a spray works out great. A shop tip I've talked about in the past. What I like to do when I'm painting stuff, I'll take just some scrap wood, pre-drill a hole, and then run some nails in there. And then I'll go back through with a file and knock the sharp point off. What this does, it makes for a great little stanchion to get your stuff off. Because if you were to spray this right here on the cardboard, it could possibly stick to it, and then when you go move it, it could cause problems. So by lifting this up and having those blocks here, helps you get all the nice edges. So up next is painting. So that is a wrap on this. I went through, I added 3 coats of a spray lacquer. The coat before the after the second, before the third coat, I took some steel wool, went through and did a like buffing, knocking those nubs up. And now I think there's 2 things I have to do. One is laser engrave it. I'll do that later. But the last big thing to do is put on the bracket. I like these sawtooth brackets. This is probably overkill for this size sign, but it is what it is. Normally you just put it on the center, but because this side is so much heavier, I'm going to shift it over. So it's 22. Normally you put it at 11. I'm going to put it over at 12. That should give us plenty of room. And what you want to do on this, especially because this is a hardwood, even though the chair is a little softer, I take a drill, or in this case I'm using an old dental tool. I'm putting a hole on one side, and I'm not going to use the drill gun, or screw gun. I'm going to use actually a screwdriver, only because I don't want to take the chance of blowing through the sign or breaking this screw or doing anything. It's just easier and safer to do it by hand. Get it nice and snug, get it level. Take my dental tool again, put the hole there, take my other screw, get my shirt off, and give it a little tap, and then screw her in. Nice and slow. And that's why it's important to pre-drill, get that hole started, because you don't split the wood. But now that is it. It's up there. It's going to hang up nicely, and this one is all done. So once again, if you're looking for a wedding gift, a housewarming gift, an anniversary gift, something like this shows them that you actually just didn't go on Amazon and buy something cheap and fast, but you put thought into it. So if you need one of those gifts or something like that, you get someone who bought their first house, maybe had their first kid, these signs make a great gift. So this is going out to some really good, this is for us to give to some really good friends of ours. Sammy and Brian are getting married here in a few weeks, so this is their wedding gift from us. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I have more videos I'm working on as far as build videos. I'm also working on some shop updates. I've not done one in a couple months because I got a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. It's been pretty boring. So anyway, here's how you make a CNC carved sign. Thanks for watching, and I will be back with you real soon. Thanks. Beauty. So there you go. This one, now the other thing I said I had to do 2 things. I got to engrave it, but I'm going to do that later. You don't need to see that. So that is it. And I put the fucking thing on the wrong side. It's upside down. We'll save that for the bloopers.